Prepare yourself for invasion. This is Indie Invasion.
Boom. Oh man, you're two-fisted drinking. All I got to
I got the 2 coffee cups.
Look at that glare. There we go. There he is, the little alien.
What's up, guys?
Greetings and sanitation, worthy friends. Oh, there's Clem. Yes, sir. More tomfoolery. You know what? I've got to remember to send you a message, Todd, because I'm about to throw my printer through the wall.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go.
Yep, I know. It's like I go in these spurts. I'll get 4 months of really good printing out of it, and then something will happen, and I just go, and then I leave it alone for a couple of months. So we're in the mirror universe. Oh,
Yeah, I know what he's saying.
Well, that's why we're in the mirror universe.
Bam.
There you go.
There we go. Now it's right in the world.
I say we need to have the evil Fu Manchu to go with the goatee if you're gonna have Josh. I have an Ender 3. It's it's just one of those things where I'm not patient enough to work on it for an extended period of time. I do all the basic stuff and then I'm like, forget it, and then I want to print something really, really bad and I go back to it. So, and then I eventually get it figured out, or I message someone who knows what they're doing, because that is not me that knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, what you been working on there, Mr. Eric?
So, still hammering out some minis with the speed painting. I am sold on that. If you guys didn't check it out, this last Saturday, I did some super cool The Thing alien minis on that stream, the Hobby Hangout. I have not yet dry brushed them because I'm trying to decide if I really want to. I mean, they're a little bit that darker tone, which fits, and they're grotesque enough for me. I think I don't think they really need any more. I mean, one night I painted 4 minis then.
Now listen, okay, that's some kind of miracle right there from back in the early days of Indie Invasion, where we both had bad microphones, no graphics, and
I mean, I'm not even gonna attempt to pick them up and show you.
You don't want it to collapse again.
No mishap like last week. But yeah, I mean, I printed those 4 and I worked on 2 other ones that I didn't get them done, but I got progress because I'm kind of doing a mix of the speed paint and regular painting on those. Actually painted a twisted model for a little bit.
What?
Yeah, I was painting Dorothy.
What? That's
dug
crazy
her out.
talk.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while since I painted a twisted model. So, and Marvel Crisis, I got a lot of oddball ones sitting around. So it's like, I'm gonna work on these, especially since I'm just experimenting, trying to learn, how to use those. So that's pretty much what I've been doing, other than waiting for new terrain from Black Slate Studios to come my way.
They've been pumping out all kinds of stuff since they got that new building.
Yes,
they've been really putting it out there. I've been still working on my Necromunda stuff, finishing up all of my gangs are done that I'm playing. I'm just kind of doing the little satellite stuff for the campaign, the monsters and stuff like that for our game. And then I'm going to move back to my Mordheim miniatures, because as Eric and I were talking before we came on, while some people don't think miniature collecting is like Pokemon and you got to catch them all, I do, but I already caught them all for Twisted, so I don't have any Twisted stuff to paint. So when does Mordheim start? Todd asks. Probably October, because we should be done with our Necromunda campaign by then. So we'll probably start that in October. We've been pretty solid in getting our games in. Gang ratings are starting to creep up to the point where we'll end it on something like having Space Marines come in and kill us all.
What's up, Spaz? I just saw that you chimed in there. Spaz, I don't know if you heard me the last week, but I did mention that they do officially have mini skirts at Redbubble. So I need to figure out where they are so I can put them in there And then you don't have to just get a sticker and put it on your butt.
There you go. There you go. That's it. That is it right there. So, yeah. So, Todd, when we start Mordheim, it'll be October. So, come on. Come on. You can join us. I saw that Mordheim box on your shelf when you did your hobby room tour.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I saw that too. He's got all that.
Yeah, he does.
Good stuff.
I know. I had to print copies.
Collector.
Oh, man. Are you kidding me? I got the Mordheim stuff from him, and I was like, I had to go print the Man of War book and the Gorka Morka book because I don't have them anymore. So, yeah. Just to read.
Modern day technology is a wonderful thing that you can just go and do that.
Right, for that out of print stuff, it's super good. I like it. So,
Yep.
Well,
I had a bit of news for everybody out there, and I was kind of excited because we got an official press release on it. Now, it was about a year ago. We first tackled Snarling Badger Studios. Did Rain in Hell. Well, they just released last week their second game called Space Station Zero.
Well, didn't we get a press release for Rain in Hell too?
We probably did. Thinking about it,
felt pretty special. Not gonna lie.
Pull up my pants a little bit. I was like, hey, all right.
I might need to wear a tie next time. We're getting all fancy up in here. Still a t-shirt, but a tie,
This one's kind of in the same vein of, get it to the table quick, use whatever minis you want. This one's got more of a campaign aspect, solo, co-op. You can fight each other. And it's kind of got more of a narrative too. You're stranded on this mysterious space station, and it reminds me of a dungeon crawler when you're going in, you're trying to discover the secrets of this space station, and you build a crew, and they can level up, they could die. And
it's kind of like 5 parsecs from home on a Space Hulk.
Yeah. It's like Space Hulk. But it's I don't want to say simplified, but it's beer and pretzels for sure, I think. Right. It's using the D12 system again. But I could totally see kids, playing this game with your kids. And, it's like it does have strategy involved because you're trying to solve a puzzle. You're trying to overcome some scenario, which they bost. What did I say it was, Mac? 24 different scenarios. Boom. And you can just kind of like, I don't want to say choose your own adventure, but you're going on the dungeon crawl and you don't really go back. So, it's different every time you play. So, and I mean, it's cheap, you guys. It's like $18 for the book. And you get a PDF for free with that.
Yeah.
Or so just the PDF.
Even if, so obviously, I mean, we are Indie Invasion after all. So I blame Eric because we were talking about it beforehand. So I went ahead and ordered mine. So this
as we were talking about
this is my PDF of it right here that I'm showing you. Hard copies on the way. But, for what it costs, if you are a collector,
if you like rules,
yeah, it's definitely worth it. And for anybody who's been listening for any length of time, I love rule books. I love to read over them. I like to compare the rules and the stories and all the other stuff. So I picked mine up just to check this out. And yes, Spaz, this is definitely a job for Elasta 8.
Heck yeah.
There's no question about it. Elasta 8 must show up in Space Station Zero. But yeah, I think it's I haven't read through it yet. Eric has watched some of the videos. I haven't, but I'm reasonably confident that it's going to be a pretty decent beer and pretzels, having your buddies over, playing a game kind of thing.
Yeah.
Clem says, got to fill the shelves.
That's right.
I think right now we're at the point where got to get more shelves, not got to fill the shelves, got to get more shelves. There's
but real quick,
lady around the corner that has some shelves out on the street says free. I'm like,
Yeah, I just thought I'd mention that, throw that out to people. If you guys want to check it out, check out their website. You can go to Snarling Badger Studios or just go straight to Space Station Zero game, and they have the little links. They'll fulfill it through Wargame Vault. Yep. You can watch the videos where they talk about the game and the backstory, and they actually have a gameplay video that was pretty interesting. It gives you a taste of it, of like a little bit of how the activation works and some of the actions they can take. And that's one of the things I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. It's different. You know, we both like when the indie games really try something different. And I think that's what they did here. So,
and again, I think it's the only downside I ever see to the independent game market is there's just so much stuff out there. You know, it's like, what do I get? What do I get? So, but again, for the price, being 18, miniatures agnostic means that's it.
$18,
which we all know that's not really true, because you'll go, oh, well, I know I have 600 space miniatures, but I'm probably going to need a whole brand new set of miniatures for a crew, because that's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be just for that game, right?
Yeah, just for that game. It doesn't matter if it's really miniatures agnostic. That just means we have to buy miniatures from any game in order to play this game. I think that's the definition. That's the definition I'm going with. So, well, what are we actually talking about tonight so that we can get on to the shenanigans?
All right. So tonight we're going to talk about jumping to wargaming conclusions. So, and I think this is something that happens a lot, especially, you know, in our little part of the hobby tabletop gaming world, wargaming. There's ideas about it in general that, you know, you can look at as really not true. It's just kind of like people say things on all the social media. Oh, it's this, it's that, you know, type of thing. So, you know, it can create misconceptions of wargaming. So I kind of wanted to look at some of them, debunk them. We'll go over. I mean, if you guys have any ideas, chime in. You guys that are in the studio audience. And
the studio audience. Dang.
Can you think of any of these wargaming, you know,
like
conclusions?
Misconceptions?
Yeah, misconceptions.
Oh yeah, I mean
there's a lot out there. I came up with 3 that we could discuss.
Well,
but
I think probably the biggest one is the nerd one about games that I think, and let's be honest, it's plastered all over the internet. I think Henry Cavill has helped to put that away by playing 40K, right?
Right.
Which I think is really cool that he plays. But I think that's a stigma that's attached to it.
Yeah.
People don't realize when you go back through the history of historical wargaming that it was actually something that the nobility did. You had to be nobility, in order to do it. So I think that was, I saw.
Yes, they are commencing now, Clem. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I think some of that is modern day and age. I think we're at a place in society that it's okay to let your geek flag fly, you know, because that's kind of pop culture now. Whereas 30 years ago, it was looked at that way, and sometimes it still is looked at that way a little bit.
Okay, Josh wins comments today. You still have to be nobility. It's
true.
Pricey to pay.
Now that depends what game company and system you go with, but yes, definitely.
Right. Yes, I was born into wealth. That's how I managed to build my 40K custodes army.
Yeah, you got the solid gold dice.
Points. Yeah, 400 points, right? That's very true. That's very true. Yeah, I think some of the other stuff too. So I have a friend that just started playing Necromunda. So he crossed over from my RPG group, and I sucked him into our Necromunda group. And so I think one of the misconceptions that he has is the idea that the painting and the building and all of that is so hard to do.
Oh yeah. That's when I hear people are discouraged about, well, that looks cool, but I don't think I can get into it. Anybody can get into it with a little time and a little practice. And especially nowadays, you can go and watch a video of how things are done. You can see it's not that bad.
Yeah. So I think the intimidation factor is kind of a misconception, especially, and this is kind of where the internet maybe has made it. I don't want to say bad, but harder, because you can go online and you look at these paint jobs and the first 500 pictures that pop up will be golden demon quality.
Yeah,
painting.
that can be discouraging.
And you're like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to play this game. There's no way I can do that.
So that's where you got to kind of go to that local level if you guys have a community for it and see what your base community is doing and go by that. Don't get discouraged by what you see online, like Max said. That's sometimes the best of the best is posting up there,
Yeah. So my buddy, I had him come over. We sat down. He opened up his box, and I was like, "All right, well, this is what you do. This is how you trim your stuff." In 5 minutes, he's starting to build, and he's like, "Okay, this is cool." And we have, I can't even remember. Oh, it's the app called GroupMe. I'm sure some of you guys know about it.
Oh, yeah.
And we use it for our Necromunda campaign, right? So we can see where everybody's at and talk. He gets home after that first night, and he's just sending me picture after picture because he's still working. He took his little brand new little tiny tackle box home, and he's just working. So he just blew that conception out of the water, that misconception right away.
That's good.
By just giving it a shot,
And that's why I think it's important that a lot of places have these like paint nights, learn to paint nights or intro to paint nights. Not only is it great for kids to get introduced to that, but people that have never been exposed to it, it's a good way to more or less ease them into it and see that it's not as bad as what they thought they saw online. So
yeah.
Okay.
That's for me. I mean, I think I got into the hobby early enough that, should I say that? There wasn't internet to look up,
You just dated yourself, didn't you?
you the only way that you could see how someone painted was to go to the store or go to your buddy's house. You couldn't Google Warhammer 40K at the time. So, you were like, man, I am an amazing painter. And then 20 years later you go, what did I paint that with? A house brush? That is terrible,
Yeah, Clem. Young kids today with your speed paints and interwebs.
Right. Hey, now I do like the speed paints. I do. I like the speed paints.
All right. Well, I had a second one that we could talk about here, and I think this one is interesting to me that there's a misconception, a belief that most people that play mini games play at the stores or tournament events competitively. And just that thought can be discouraging to some people to get into a system or a game.
Yeah.
And, what's funny is you may think that, especially you go to the stores and they're always packed with all these, 40K players or Magic players and stuff. But in truth, more people, I think, are playing these games at home. And there's a good
store. I'm playing at home.
See, or they don't have a store.
So you're playing it.
And I think the biggest reason for this is, and I think this is a great reason, is, you can play the way you want at home. You want to play older editions of rules, play them. You can proxy whatever you want, at home. And some people feel like, oh, I gotta keep up with that chase. I gotta be current with the rule systems and chase that FAQs. And no, you don't. You can play whatever way you want.
Right.
Nope. Nobody's gonna come beating down your door and say you're playing it wrong. You don't have to be official.
Look at you, Spaz. Max Old Mini looking at the newer speed painted minis, shaking fist, get off my flock. You know what? Just for that statement, I'm going to paint up a miniature here this week, and I'm going to do my base Goblin Green.
Yeah.
Paint me a Space Marine with a Goblin Green base.
That gives me an idea for a shirt. Old pewter minis that get off my flock.
So, I think there's a lot of things that people have misconceptions about with the games, and I think it's better today because back in the day it wasn't a misconception. You had to have a lot of models, right? Because you were either playing fantasy battles, you were playing Warhammer 40K, or if you really want to go back, you were playing Rogue Trader. And while you didn't need as many models as you need for 40K, you still needed quite a few. Or you were playing historicals. And for those of you who have been to historical conventions, I mean, sometimes the table, I mean, you're like, that table is as big as not my kitchen table, but my kitchen, right? Because they're just huge because there's so many models. So I think people sometimes still think that, though, that you have to have 500 different models in order to play. And right now, I can't remember who said it. It was some time ago on one of the other shows that someone said, it might have even been Josh, actually. I don't know if he's still watching, but Josh of Zombiesmith Miniatures, go over to his website, check it out, buy stuff because it's cool. Is that we're in the golden age of gaming right now because, well, like we just said, Space Station Zero just came out. You've got Reign in Hell. You've got all of these different little skirmish games out there that you don't need 500 models for.
Yeah. You can use, we've been diving into our board game minis, CMON, and reusing that stuff. And I think some people, you go online, you look at like the conventions, you see pictures from conventions, and it's just like, oh my God, there's a lot of people. And you just see that sea of tables and minis and, people looking like they're super intense and playing these games that, you would think that, seeing stuff like that and seeing pictures from stores, or even if you just went into the store, it can be a little intimidating.
Or if you went in Eric's house, I mean, look behind him. Look at that. All that stuff you have to play.
It's my own store.
And masks and Halloween. So you got to have all kinds of stuff.
I got lots of toys. And, it's funny. And I know some companies have done studies. Like I know Wizards of the Coast looked at this, especially with Magic and, taking surveys, whatever way they did online. And it turns out that realistically, like 95% of the people aren't going to the Friday Night Magic to play in these games. They're staying at home with family and playing with friends and, and just trying things out and having a good time, not really overly concerned to win, type of thing.
Right. Well, that perfect example right there where you just said playing at home, not really caring if you win. Look, the reality is nobody shows up to the game and goes, man, I sure hope I lose tonight. Right. Nobody shows up and does that. But you can still be a good loser. Right. So last Saturday we're playing and it was just the best because it was just a bunch of friends playing around the table and nobody really cared what happened to who. We're laughing at each other, the stuff that's happening. Like
you're telling stories, right?
I got creamed. We started playing. I got creamed in like the first two turns. I was like, all right, well, that didn't really go too well, but I'll be able to help roll up everybody else's serious injuries. But that atmosphere, and that goes back to what you were saying earlier, is the misconception that there has to be this competitive level. I don't know if that's really a misconception in general about gaming, so much as it is like some people are maybe intimidated by going to the store and playing because you're worried that somebody is so much better than you because you've seen that one guy at the store who's hyper competitive, who might really be the nicest guy in the world and might actually teach you a thing or two about the game. Yeah. But you have that perception because that's what you see. And I know that can be intimidating, especially for people that are maybe not as extroverted. If you're a little bit more introverted, that could definitely put you off to doing it. So remember, when you're there playing the games at the stores, those of you who have them, the stores, I mean, be nice to the new scared looking people.
Be friendly, say, yeah, come in.
And put your deodorant on. Everyone that watches this knows why I said that.
So I had another one that we can tap into here a little bit, and this is closer to what we talk about a lot. And we have mentioned this one a lot, but mini agnostic games mean you can use whatever minis you want for games. Now, some people think that if the game says mini agnostic, you can use whatever minis you want, but realistically, what they're actually saying, so I did some research on this one.
Look at you.
It's more of a note saying that it's the game is more about a rule set. It's a rule system that the company's publishing, and they may be doing that because, well, minis are expensive to produce, right? And there is exceptions.
I'm learning that.
Yes, you were learning that, and there's exceptions. Frostgrave is one. They do have a minis line, but it's still agnostic, so you can still use whatever minis with that rule set. Now, what's funny is you can do this with any game, right?
Oh, yeah.
You could push whatever you want. They could be chess pieces around any game. It don't have to be an official Space Marine, especially if you're playing at home. Who cares? Nobody's gonna come arrest you. So I think that's one idea I just recently heard about, that it's not so much about the minis and using whatever you want, but it's just an indication that this is just a rule set. Here, have fun with it. Use what you want.
Right. It makes me think of one-page rules.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
And just putting that kind of stuff out is, and I know we've talked about this before too. This is a little bit off topic, but with the Minatures Agnostic Games, I think that Frostgrave really did it best by having stuff available, because not everybody's super creative, right? Not everybody's going to go track down all of these other cool miniatures from these other companies, or scratch build something, or kit back something. Some people want a Space Marine per se, you know what I mean? Or they want that Frostgrave guy. So to have it available, but then still say it's Minatures Agnostic, just use whatever you want. I think that's a really cool combination of stuff to do. And I agree with you, Todd. Indie games really do have the best fluff. As a matter of fact, since Josh is here, if you want to read some really good fluff, it's all on his Zombiesmith website. I don't know. We've got the link in there somewhere if you want to throw that up there.
I think we still have it. Well, I got that.
Well, it's Zombiesmith Miniatures, and his fluff for the Quar is super extensive. Don't read it on your phone. Sit down at your computer, because there's a lot of text, but it's great fluff. And Todd's spot on. Indie games really do have the best fluff.
They can focus on that, where if they don't have a minis line, well, they put more focus into the rule set, the background, the fluff. Yeah, and so it makes it more immersive, right?
Well, to be fair, then Josh was a bad example, because he has a mini line too.
Well,
but his fluff is really good.
He's the exception though too.
Okay, so
I consider him an exception.
So he's extra special, is what you're saying. So you're sucking up. You're sucking up is what you're doing. Okay. As long as we're aware of what we're doing is sucking up, then that's okay. No, seriously, go read the fluff. It's good fluff.
Yeah. But I just thought that was an interesting thought. I don't think I ever thought of mini agnostic that way, of just that, this is a rule set, do what you want.
Right.
And I just thought some of the comments I was reading is that you could technically do that with anything.
Oh, sure. Josh says, I am an exception. Yes, you are.
So what is Clem hooked on lately here?
I don't know. What is this Zinvaded idea as of late? Okay, you're going to have to elaborate. We might have to have him on next week to explain.
Is that a spell check?
Did you fat finger something, my friend? Anyway, so I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there. And I think as, if you will, grognards, which is pretty much what everybody in this group is, generally speaking, it's kind of incumbent on us to be the ambassadors of breaking down those misconceptions, to bring more people into the gaming world, to not be gatekeepers of stuff, to let people come in and play and find the same kind of joy that we find in the games. Like, I'll tell you again, my buddy that came and built stuff, he's had some stressful stuff going on the past few weeks, right? And he messaged me. He's like, man, just sitting here and slicing these little pieces of plastic up and gluing them together is so therapeutic. To just sit here, you kind of turn off your brain. Don't turn it off so much that you stick your knife in your hand, but you just chill and you chop up your plastic miniatures, or you do a little bit of painting. and you can just relax. So there's a lot of good stuff that comes out of it. So
yeah, and we have to go out of our way to break down those walls that are keeping people that just don't know, they're not regularly exposed to, the hobby world of miniature games. They just see a certain, small window of it. So you got to expand it.
Sorry, well, my teenager walking in.
Okay. Just like that, Mac. Sorry, boom. Clem. Boom. That was a quick one, wasn't it?
30 minutes in Wargaming. But and don't forget to join Spaz in your purchase of Space Station Zero, because he already bought it. So
yeah, he said he's holding me responsible if he doesn't like it. How can you not? It's just another rule set that you can have fun with.
Yeah, I'm going to read it. And actually, I have my Necromunda table set up, and I think it'll be perfect.
Spaz, if you don't like it, I'll buy you some Nutter Butters and send them to you. And we'll call it even.
Just buy the book from him. he can keep the PDF.
There we go. Yeah.
See, that's a win right there. All right. So anyway, I think that is all we have time for. So to recap, don't be gatekeepers. Be the people that welcome people in, break down those misconceptions. Go buy your copy of Space Station Zero from Wargame Vault or Drive Through RPG. And don't forget to go over to Zombiesmith Miniatures and check out. Oh, I remember Zinvaded. He told us about that. Go over to Zombiesmith Miniatures, check out all the fluff over there, and buy something, because the Quar miniatures are super cool. So that's just the reality. Sorry. That's how it is. They're really cool. I got a bunch of them. So anyway, take us out, Mr. Huffman.
My turn. Okay, guys.
I don't know. Sure.
I'll take us out. But guys, thanks for tuning in, invaders. If you're new to the show and just want some more content, you can find audio content of all our podcasts on whatever platform is your listening pleasure. And also check out video on YouTube, our YouTube channel, and like stuff like unboxings and more shorts. We have all the shorts on there. And make sure you audio shorts, and make sure that you check us out on all the social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, see what we're getting into. And please join our growing community on Discord. We got a link there, and we will have it also everything in the show notes if you guys want to check that out. And if you like what you're listening to and you want to support us, you can visit us on Patreon/Indie Invasion. We'd appreciate all the support you guys could give. If not, that's cool too. We enjoy doing this and bringing the world of gaming to you guys. But if you like some merch, want to put some merch on your body, we got shirts, hats, and if you like drinking coffee, we got coffee mugs. Stickers and pillows and shower curtains and all kinds of stuff that you can just decorate. Yep.
Mini skirts for Spaz.
Yep. Soon mini skirt. I'm just going to title it Mini Skirt for Spaz on the Redbubble site. But yeah, they got everything on there that you can decorate your whole house. Indie Invasion. We'd appreciate it. I don't know if your wives would appreciate it, but but that's all we got for you guys this week on our live Indie Invasion Shorts stream. Next time, we'll see what we get into. But while you're out there diving into all those indie fun games, prepare yourself for an invasion. Later.